Hey guys, I just wanted to kind of talk about, being transgendered, transition, stealth, all that stuff. I don't really know a whole lot of transgendered people, and the transgendered people that I do know are all M to F, and they're more acquaintances than friends anyway. And, I think this is mostly due to me being, 90% stealth or so. The people that do know about me are people that I've known for a super long time, or obviously my girlfriend, and things like that. But like people that I've met after living fully as a guy, I don't know anything. You know, the beauty of hormones; they don't have to. Or if they suspected before I, was on T and stuff, they certainly were nice enough not to say anything. You know. Anyway, I don't really know a lot of M to, or rather, F to M's. I don't really know any actually. Come to think of it, and I just kind of wanted to know what other people's thoughts and opinions were on transition. And I've always been really, up until recently, I've always been really, really secretive about it. I live in California in the San Francisco Bay Area, so it's not like there's a lot of, you know, there's not a lot of persecution or what have you, a lot of, stigma placed on that sort of thing around here. I mean, of course, there's still some. I mean, there's some everywhere, but not as bad as a lot of places, that's for sure. I mean, it's kind of the mecca for, people being different. People move here from all over to be here. And I grew up in the Bay Area. I was born in Illinois, but I grew up here. Moved here when I was still in kindergarten and have like no memory of living anywhere else. Uh, you know, pretty much, except for when I moved around on my own. And so, anyway, I've just always been really secretive about it. But, when I was a kid, I always, like, if there were kids I didn't go to school with and then I met at, like, the apartment complex that I lived at, they would always assume I was a guy or a boy, and I would just run with that because I always felt like I was a boy. Like, I always imagined myself as an adult, as a guy. And that was before I even had a word, to describe myself. And yeah, I mean, and then like when stuff at home really sucked. My mom was sexually abusive, blah blah blah, whatever. That's not what I'm trying to get into. But as a result of all that, I moved out when I was 16. I graduated early from high school, moved out when I was 16, and you know, since then I have been living fully as male. Jobs I got, I just, I hadn't changed my name yet, but I just used my name. And not a whole lot of people questioned it. Some people would still use the wrong pronoun. Some people, seem to wonder, but you know, I just, I did it. I moved to Florida to be with my first, real long time girlfriend. And down there it was a lot easier to pass because people have, stereotypes. It's the South. It was just a lot easier to pass. I had no problems. Then I moved to Seattle. People that I knew and worked with never questioned me, but I still got called she quite a bit. This is all pre-testosterone. I would just bind, and pre-testosterone, pre-surgery, would just bind all the time. And then when I moved back here, it got a lot worse because there's so many, gay and lesbian people, and a lot of people just assumed I was a lesbian, and it just got, but still the people I worked with and knew and then were introduced as male, they just ran with it. Even if they assumed that I was actually transgender, they didn't say anything. You know, and then of course and I was binding and stuff like that. So, and I was, in my early 20s, and some guys really don't have a lot of facial hair at that point. But but that whole time I was really secretive about it. Even people I knew that would be okay with that sort of thing, I was just always really, really, really secretive about it. I wouldn't participate in any sort of things. I mean, I've always been very outspoken about like gay rights, etc. But I've never, been like I'm one of those. I'm in that category. I am part of the LGBT community, and I've just, yeah, and just till recently, I've like started being more okay with it. Like, I wouldn't even talk about it really with the friends that knew and that I'd been close to, like, for like 13 years. I was just so, like, wanting to separate that from who I was, but I mean, the truth is, you really can't. Those experiences really shape, who you are and your opinions and, what you can relate to and stuff. And, I mean, I'm still obviously stealth, and I don't intend on not being that way, at least not anytime soon. I've never been, the kind of person that wants to be the center of attention, the kind of person that wants a lot of, like, yeah, I'm pretty quiet and reserved and, introverted. But, you know, like, just with all these, like, political things lately, like, sometimes I feel really bad that I'm not more active. I'll, like, volunteer for Lion Martin, the transgendered clinic, or clinic that helps transgendered anybody really, but they specialize in helping transgendered people that don't have money or just can't find sympathetic doctors. And I don't know where I would be without them right now. It would have been a lot harder to be on testosterone and whatnot. But I've just, I felt guilty that I'm not doing more. Like, I'll volunteer and stuff, but it's not like I'm, I don't know. And so, but at this point in my life, I'm like a little more okay with it. I'll talk to my friends about it more. The, one of the, I have a friend whose girlfriend, now ex-girlfriend, is M to F. And, she was asking me if I would be interested in being interviewed because she does, like, a talk and stuff like that. And I watch a lot of other guys' videos, and they, like, talk about going to Southern Comfort and, stuff like that. And I just kind of, yeah, I just feel like I should be doing more. And I don't know. But I'm getting to a point where it's just not as bad. Anyway, I'm rambling on. I'm just sort of, and I'm curious, like, what you guys do, what you guys think, what your story is, because I really don't know any other M to Fs, and I've finally started, like, having this desire to talk to other M to Fs and, like, just know what people's stories are. Like, was it easy? Was it hard? Have you been stealth? Have you been out? A lot of guys are out, and sometimes I envy those guys, like, having the courage to do that. And, here I am, in a relatively safe area to do so, but I'm still afraid to. And yeah, I'm just curious. I'd be really interested in knowing what y'all are all up to, those people that watch the occasional video that I make. Anyway, thanks for listening to me babble, and I hope to hear from you guys.